Yo, what's up, squad? Anybody want a shot of cold whiskey?
If I can kick back, when you get on, we hitting better back.
Hello, and welcome, class.
Yeah,
welcome.
what up?
Today to this very wondrous occasion where I'm going to teach you about a very important part of my life, and I hope that becomes an important part of y'all's lives as well. I hope that's my goal with today. Today we're talking about aerial interrupts in Super Smash Bros. Melee. So, what is an aerial interrupt? Let's define that first, definitely. An aerial interrupt is when an aerial attack, it has to be an aerial attack, you gotta be an aerial, shifts your ECB in such a way that it makes contact with the ground, causing you to land early. So there's some things we gotta define in this first, right? So we got ECB, what is that? We don't even know what that is. That is the environmental collision box. I have some skeletons here, some reference points, if you will. Feel free to ask me questions. Anything on your guys' minds today?
How the fuck did you figure out this was a good idea?
So, real quick, I do have a couple shout outs to give before I start. I'm glad that you reminded me. I want to give one quick credit to Shimoblidon on, I think that's not how you say it. Yeah, give it a cheer for Shmoblidon, I don't know.
Shmoblidon?
On the Smash Boards post for making a post called Undiscovered Aerial Interrupts, where I got a lot of this information. It wouldn't be possible without him. And also the Procrastinators podcast, great podcast, great stuff. Yeah, another one. Those guys. Thanks, Ben Saint. I love your Mega Man 10-hour explanation. Shout outs to you, that's for you. Okay, so we got some images. So this is a Melee skeleton. So what you see every day when you play Melee is nothing at all. That's not representative of what's going on behind the scenes. So we have two different things here, really a couple different things. Well, we have the hurt bubbles, the hurt boxes, the cold bubbles in this game, bad decision. Should have been boxes. So you have the hurt boxes, which are these like yellow and purple things, and it's like, that's what makes sure you get hit. That's what defines your hitbox. So like when a hit box comes into contact with the hurt box, you get hit. So that's, we all know how that works. It happens to us all the time. But then we have this weird little diamond. This weird little diamond right here that's like, what's that? What's that doing right there?
Samus has a big dong.
So yeah, huge dong. Huge, bigger than yours. So this weird diamond is what dictates when we are colliding with a surface. So it can be the ground, the ceiling, or the walls. I don't know if diagonals are different. Do you know if diagonals are different or they're just ceilings?
The diamond or the bubbles?
So the diamond dictates when you run into stuff. So we've all seen this occasion where you're running at a wall and like your face just gets clipped into the wall for some reason. Right? Like Bowser's entire face is in the wall and you don't know why. Why would it not stop him earlier? Well, if we look into the detailed pictures of it, we see his bubbles, his hurt boxes, continue into the wall, but it's not until that tip of that weird little diamond reaches the wall that he stops. And it might be a little hard to see that one, so I have one more even clearer image to show everyone. Okay. The tip of that diamond is touching the wall. So this is an ECB, and that defines where you are touching, when you're touching something, right? It defines touching an opponent without a hurt box. It's like what it does. And it's kind of weird in the way that it works because it's like kind of center of mass, but not entirely. It's like weird. It's best to think about it as center of mass though. That's the best way to think about it. So when our ECB touches the ground, it's very important that it's the ground. Wall won't work, ceiling won't work. It has to be the ground because that you can only like land on the what is labeled ground. So you land there on the ground. Hold on. And it causes you to land early in a weird way. So there's like a whole bunch of these moves that can be done. I have a list of all the ones that I currently know about, but I'm sure there's more. I'm 100% confident there's more. But like Samus's up air, when you, where'd my tape go? There's my tape. So above a platform, well, you know, let's go back a little bit. I got some more details to talk about. So, any questions on the ECB? We all know what that is. We're all up to date.
Did you define what ECB stands for?
Oh, it is the Environmental Collision Box, or ECB. Okay. So this is Samus in the air. This is her standing. And so the moves that allow you to, a lot of them, not all of them, there's a lot of weird intricacies and uniquenesses with all the specific ones, but generally, they follow the pattern of, so this is Samus sitting in the air, and this is her 2 frames later. That difference between these two is huge. It ticks itself all the way back up, right? And then 2 frames later, I should have printed this out, but I didn't, it goes back to being down, right? So like when you're in a platform and you're like sitting in it, if you do an up air, it'll pull you up and then put you right back down, which then, because your environmental collision box collided with the ground, it will tell itself that you are grounded and you'll land, right? And so when you land, it's just a normal 4-frame landing lag. It's not 4 frames for everyone. Some people have 5 frames, some people have 6 frames. So you just have normal landing lag. That's what it should be. So that's what aerial interrupts are defined as, and that's how they work and how you can do them. But like, what do they do? Why would you ever use them? In a lot of cases, on the ledge, you can get extra delint. A lot of characters can do this. I'm sure there's more than I know, but like Captain Falcon, Samus, Mewtwo, Ness, Zelda, I think I have them written, Mr. Game & Watch. They can all use this same technique where it pulls the ECB up and then stricks it back down to get bonus galint. So like Zelda gets like 11 frames, I don't know the exact frames, but it's better than almost every other time. So that's one of the main use cases. A lot of these characters have bad get out of ledge options, and a lot of ones with good ledge dashes have no reason to do this. So like it's kind of forced to have a bad ledge dash, and you gotta do this bonus option. And it really depends how difficult it is to do by character. Some are 2 frames, some are 1 frames. It depends on like the movement. So it's never like a concrete answer. Like, because if you are sitting at the perfect spot, like if you do a short hop and it just happens to be at the platform height, you have a bunch of frames to do it. Because it'll just like, you're just at that perfect Y level. So like you can't think about it in like, there's one specific timing, unless you're like rounded, and that's the way to do it. But like in the air, you have to think about where you actually are and where it'll adjust it. So extra galint is one way. Getting up the platforms for a lot of characters is much faster than ledge dash. So like Samus's is like 31 frames or something for a wave land onto the platform. But it's like 20 for an instant, or for a aerial interrupt. So like you cut off 33% of the frames, you can act faster, you can do a whole bunch of stuff, you can move. And these situations are all over melee. And so like if you're jumping to a platform and you want to land on it, for a lot of characters, the most optimal way is to do this every single time if you want to get on it. You got a question? Just a cheering nod. Okay, so this is a lot of it. Let me check. Okay, so there's these types of aerial interrupts that you, at the beginning frames of the move, you have auto cancel timing. So there's auto canceling all over the game. And like beginning frames and end frames for a lot of moves have auto cancel frames. So these ones, you cancel the beginning part of the frames and you just land normally. But there's another type, the second super secret type, called attack interrupts. There's not as many of these in the game. There's only like, I know of 3. And so these ones are like Mario's up air. You know Mario's up air. When you land, it sticks the foot out just a little bit. Yeah. So this is what is happening, actually. When you stick it out, your ECB on that frame goes up because you do the flip. And then on the next frame, because you flip more vertically, you take back down. But this move still comes out. You still have one active frame of a hitbox. And so like you can ledge cancel it. You have to L cancel these, it's important. You should really L cancel these because they are not in the auto cancel time.
Alright, show it to the camera. Just walk it up.
So, I'll explain. The hitbox comes out, and then this ECB here ticks back down on the next frame and goes. So that's Mario. So Mario can do that, Dr. Mario can do that, and also Pichu's Nair can do that. I don't know of any other situations that it works. There might be more.
Luigi?
Does Luigi have one with his Nair? Does his Nair come out if he auto cancels it? Okay, also
I believe so.
Luigi Nair, maybe. So that, it opens up a whole nother can of worms, right? Because you take this just potentially movement option and give it a threat behind it. It's like you can do combos, you can throw out hitboxes, really anything you could do with a hitbox. There's like, you know what you can do with a hitbox, it hits stuff. So these can be like ledge canceled, L canceled, you can do lots of stuff on them. These are super crazy, but there's not too many of them, so they keep them checked in that way. Okay, so back here. Also one thing, so like your grounded grab box is way bigger than your aerial grab box. So in niche case, if a Peach or a Link is throwing a turnip at you above the platform, you can interrupt and then grab it way easier than you could in the air. It doesn't come up that much, it's actually not that useful, but it's something to know, you can do it.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and so next we're going to talk about manipulating your ECB to most effectively get an aerial interrupt, because there's a lot of ways to do this. So let's start with Ness. When Ness does a double jump, he does like a little flip, right? He goes and like cuts under and then goes up.
Avocado.
In like the game files, he doesn't actually shift position. He's like there, right? So like he flips under, and then when he does a move, it's like, oh wait, you're actually up here. It just looked like you were down here. But my ECB thinks we're down here. So then it switches up to like shift upwards and then land on the platform or on the edge or whatever grounded surface you want. Those are the only two, I think. So, what was I talking about? I had it.
The ECB shift based on the Ness jump.
Oh, the next jump. Okay. So there's a lot of things that you can do. There's weird ones with like characters up Bs, like you know the Marth up B thing, or like up B and it cuts off the bottom half of your ECB. So then when you grab the ledge, you don't even have a bottom half, and you just jump over, and then halfway through the jump, it just goes kerplunk, and it plops you on the ground. Those are hard to tell because it's just like weird frame stuff, like weird game stuff. There's no logical sense, but a lot of the other ones, they really make a lot of sense. So like movement ways. So like Samus's double jump also, she curls up into a ball, and so like it pulls her stuff in a weird way that when you do it, you get extra like distance. So I think, let me think about like, because I think like Game & Watch could do stuff with it. I don't know, there's a lot of ways to do stuff with it. Last page. Yeah, so make sure to keep distance doing it. And so you can do this all the time, it's great. Any questions about aerial interrupts?
What are examples where this is practical? Like, help me understand where you're integrating.
So the most practical one that unlocks the next level of seeing how potentially great that this could be is the extra gallant for most characters, right? Because like you turn, Samus's ledge dash is 4 frames if done frame perfectly, but 11 frames if you do the gallant, or if you do the up air interrupt. So you almost triple your invincible time, which is huge. You can get spot dodge, you can down smash. Before you could just get up B, jab, spot dodge, shield. But like now it opens up a whole nother world. And also, so like it's harder to explain why going onto a platform is better, right? Because like there's so many weird cases where it's just faster, right? So like it's just better in every way if you want to go to a platform. which we all, like, I want to do it all the time, even though I don't, like, I'm not supposed to. I should be sitting around, I should be messing around, but like, I want to play on the platform. It's fun. It's right there. I want to wave dash off and go, woohoo! And so, like, if you want to do that,
It's pronounced Yahoo!
Yahoo!
if you want to do that, you should just interrupt it because it's better in every way. So, like, if someone's camping the top platform, if like a peach is sitting and like floating in at a height that you can't like normally really tell, you can do a quick interrupt and then into another jump. And it's like significantly faster than what you would do normally. And so like there's just a whole bunch, it just opens up, it's more optimal. So like the more optimal you could be, the more optimal you should be. So that's why you should use interrupts and how you should use them. Questions, anyone? Yes, another question.
How do I integrate this into my practice routine?
So I would go to Battlefield and say, let me be really, really swaggy. Let me just be like super swaggy. I'm gonna hit these cancels into the shield drop, ledge dash, into another one, into on the top platform, into like a super, just feel yourself for a little bit, but like try to hit these, cause they feel so good. Like they feel, when you hit one of these that actually does something, you're like, I am the greatest player in the entire world. I'm so much better than everyone. Nobody's doing that. I'm so good. So like, I don't even, a lot of the times I do it, it amounts to nothing, you know, but like when I do it and like get it off like a down air, I play Samus by the way, like a down air onto the platform, like interrupt, like charge smash, you're like, I'm just the greatest player of all time. It just feels good to do. And like, they're not that hard to hit for most characters. There's like harder timings and stuff, but you can get it most of the time, or at least I can get it most of the time, with practice. And like you gotta be careful, because every stage has slightly different platform heights. So you have to like remember to change your timing every stage. So like a lot of the time I did it on Battlefield. So like my timing is like set for Battlefield. And so like if I go to Yoshi's, I have to be like, it'll take me 2 to be like, okay, that's the timing for Yoshi. So you like might want to switch up the stage to like learn more and like just get used to the different timings. And some are super fast. Oh, you can also on like a top platform do like a wave, or not a wave, a shield drop, jump up, interrupt. And like it's super fast. You can do like a weird grab or like really anything. It's just like surprising the guys, like a layer of mix up that you can do, something that you can add. And so like, yeah, just have fun with it. They're fun to do, learn the timing, and then it's gold. Questions? Another question from the back.
Yeah.
A falcon punch, now falcon kick back. A falcon punch, now falcon kick back. Then you get launched, we hitting bareback. A falcon punched, then falcon kick back. Why you be acting like smacking you off the screen is so surprising. Do it repeatedly. Undisputed king of the tilt, the pinball wizard. Ice climber sewing a quilt and I say good night blizzard.